What's going on, guys? Today is our last day in Poland. We are in Krakow today. We're going to explore Krakow. I'm just about to leave this hotel room now, and before we do anything I need to actually go to the airport to drop off the car, because otherwise I'll need to come back at an awkward time about 6 p.m. to then drop off a car, and it'll give me like 4 hours just to do nothing before I then fly home. So I'm going to drop it off this morning, and then I've got the entire day until I need to get back to the airport about 8 or 9 p.m. To then just do what I want to do and explore Krakow. Hopefully there's enough to do in Krakow. I've been looking a little bit on the research inside of it, but it looks like there's a lot of like churches and that type of thing. So I just want to explore it myself, really see how we get along, try and get some food at the same time as well, whether that's at the airport or whether it's in Krakow itself. And yeah, today is really just to enjoy and for me to take things at my own leisure. It's the last day of a 6-day trip, going non-stop vlogging everything. Going city to city. I've been to 5 cities now here in Poland. I've done way more than 1,000 kilometers of driving, and I think today is just time for me to relax a little. Still check out Krakow and still try and do as much as I can. But it's the last day. It's going to be a long day as well for me because I don't fly until like 10 or 11 p.m. tonight, so it's going to be a late one for sure. And another thing is that tomorrow I turn 25, so today is my last day ever being 24 years old. It's a little bit scary thinking about the fact that I'm going to be turning 25 tomorrow, just because it's like quarter of a century. You know, it's just like midway to 50. It's just one of those sort of weird ages. But either way, yeah, tomorrow I turn 25. That will most probably be during this vlog, because by the time I land in the UK, it will be precisely 23:59. It's a bit of a weird time to land, I know, but it'll be literally 1 minute before I turn 25, so I'm sure I'll probably capture that on camera, just to capture it on camera. But yeah, I mean, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and drop off the car and get on with Krakow. Last time in the car. I will need to go fill it up first, and then once I've filled it up, we'll check the mileage, because I've done over 1,200 kilometers. We'll check it when we drop off at the airport though. Cześć, 8. Car's packed up, and that's everything. A bit annoying, I did use this bag for like all my dirty clothing. Obviously I've only got one bag to take on the plane, so I have to put it all in here, which is all my equipment, all of my clothing, everything that I brought with me on this trip has to fit in a small backpack. So it is compact. It's going to be fun carrying this around Krakow. But at least I've got one good use, is this can be used for like the bin, because I've got so many water bottles and stuff in the front of this car that just needs to be thrown away. So good news at least. But yeah, great news. I managed to actually drive all around Poland, doing like, I think altogether I worked it out to be about 15 hours worth of driving. I managed to do it all without scratching the car, denting the car, crashing the car, whatever it may be. And considering how mad these Polish people drive, it's a miracle to say the least. Anyway, I want to go drop off this key, then we can get on with Krakow. 2,918 kilometers, almost 3,000, but not quite, but we did pretty well. I'm pretty sure we started off at 16:04. So not a bad amount of driving, to be honest, within the past 5 to 6 days. Been really enjoyable, to say the least. Okay, just dropped off the keys to the car, right down there at the car rental. And now I'm all on my own, me and my backpack, and that's it. And we've got to be back at this airport for about 8 p.m. Right now it's about 12, or about half 11, something like that. Okay, so I'm now in the center of Krakow's Old Town. I just managed to get a taxi down here because it was just quicker and cheaper than getting the train, so I decided to get a little taxi down here. Took about 20-25 minutes to drive down, but right now we're in the, I think, the center of the old town of Krakow. Quite a big square area, to be fair. The name of this square right here is Rynek Główny. That just means main market in Polish, hence why it's huge. It's so much bigger than the old town square markets in any of the other cities I've visited this holiday. It just goes on for miles. There's a whole section down there, as well as the fact that it's so open right here next to me. But it's of no surprise maybe that Krakow's main market square here in the old town is probably the biggest I've seen anywhere in Poland, because Krakow used to be the capital of Poland. It wasn't Warsaw, it used to be Krakow. I think it was like 1500 something, they changed it from Krakow to Warsaw. So this, at one point, for about the period of like 500 years or so, Krakow used to be the capital of Poland. Not exactly Polish, but I managed to find a Georgian restaurant. This place here. Of course, I'm not driving anymore here in Poland, so enjoying the local beer. Alcohol-chin beer. I've got my appetizer. I've just had one of the breads. It's Georgian bread with some spicy tomato sauce. And then here's my soup. All with a nice view. And here's my main. Looks like a pizza, but it's actually some Georgian dish. Very interesting to have Georgian food here in Poland, but in almost every city I've been to, I have seen Georgian restaurants, so I'm assuming it's quite a popular thing. I just don't know exactly like why, I guess, because Georgia is not exactly close to Poland in terms of geographically, but maybe they have some sort of historic bond, maybe to do with the war. I'm not really too sure, but either way, they have a lot of Georgian restaurants from what I've seen. Made with some nice food at least. It was very interesting. Only thing I didn't like, and it wasn't the restaurant's fault, it's just me being picky, had eggplant in it, or zucchini. So I don't like that, but everything else in it was really nice. It was basically like a pizza bread, but it wasn't a pizza. It was a really interesting dish. Right now we're heading to the Jewish quarters, which is an area within Krakow called Kazimierz. It's basically where a lot of the Jews were living, or where they did live before World War II and that whole thing happened. And now there's still loads of like synagogues and other type of Jewish things there, so we're gonna go and have a look. But apparently not many Jews actually live there anymore. Well, this is it, Kazimierz. It's the old Jewish quarter. Doesn't feel too different, to be honest, from anywhere else in Krakow that I've been so far. We are heading towards potentially a synagogue to see what that's like, to see if there's any more sort of history there at all. I mentioned that Kazimierz is the Jewish area of Krakow, where it used to be before World War II, but it actually was the area where Jewish people lived in harmony with Catholics as well. So you get not only synagogues, but there's also churches as well. Right behind me is an example of one of the many churches here. It just happens to be the first one I've walked past, and it's pretty big. I've just sat down here next to it in the shade because it is about 30 degrees right now. I'm absolutely sweating. It's hard to walk in this heat, to be honest, especially with my backpack now. It weighs so much because I've got all of my clothing as well as all my equipment in there as well, because I don't have a car to dump it in. So yeah, I'm just taking a rest right now, admiring this, and then once we're done we'll carry on going, exploring more Kazimierz. Okay, this is what I was expecting from Kazimierz, is old synagogues, the Jewish symbols everywhere, and also Hebrew writing as well. This behind me is called the Old Synagogue. I don't think it's open, but it's just the exterior of the building that we can see. And as we walk just around the corner from the Old Synagogue, there's this building right here. I don't know what it is. Could be just someone's house. We've got some sort of war memorial just here, I think, maybe, in memory of the Bosak family, residents of Kazimierz. 1941, wartime, on the side of the building. Can't really get a good shot, but we have the graffiti with Hebrew written at the top. And here is the other side of that old synagogue. Kazimierz was interesting to visit, although it wasn't as big or as easy to understand as I expected it to be. I feel like you needed a group tour, a guide tour, whatever, to actually understand exactly what all the buildings were. There were a lot of those going around, so maybe you had to hop onto one of them to actually understand what you were looking at. There were just a lot of churches and synagogues and that type of thing, but the history was still there. Definitely a lot of Hebrew still written on the cafes, a lot of Jewish influence there as well, so it was cool to look at either way. Right now we're going to head onto a tram and head to a different area of Krakow. Right behind me is a mound called Kosciuszko which is Kosciuszko Mound. You can't really see it that well. Let me just move across a little bit more. It's not particularly that big. It's a little bit of an arduous climb by the looks of it, not too bad. We're going to go up there in a minute, just have a cool little view of Krakow, hopefully. Apparently it's a really good panoramic view of Krakow. We'll see when we get up there. Right behind me we have the entrance to the museum, which also says on there, Wejście na kopiec, which means entrance to the mound, which is just going all the way around and then up this big hill. I'm already knackered and I've not even started yet. I've only gone through like a museum thing that you have to go through. So many stairs in there alone. I have to walk across this bridge and onto the mound. And so it begins. Immediately greeted by a cannon. At least they have benches along the way, little resting points in case you get tired. So far so good. Just started. I think we can do this pretty easily, to be honest. The way this walkway is, it's not too bad, it's not too steep. We'll see what we're at in about a few minutes when I get knackered because I'm really unfit. Look at that view. It's not bad. I can see the balloon that we were next to earlier. I didn't record it, but I was next to that balloon earlier. I think in the Kazimierz district where the Jewish quarter is. Okay, I'll give it its due. This is probably going to be a really good view. And a really bad fall if you end up tripping. You can see off in the distance, mountain range. One last little climb to get to the top. Did it quite easily actually, it's not too difficult. As easy as that. Not at the top yet. Almost. Oh no, there's another little bit to go up. Oh my god, there's loads of flies. There's a lot of flies which ruins it, but we made it to the top pretty easily. Look at all of these flies. While I'm not being attacked by flies, here's the view. Can't see the shot, is it any good? It's too bright. I'm sure it's good. I literally can't see anything, the sun's right in my eyes. Managed to find a place where there's not too many of those flies because they were sort of ruining it a little bit. Quite a nice view in the background. Again, when I look that way I cannot see anything because of how bright the sun is. It's a good little tourist attraction. Shame about the flies, but you can't really help that. It is a big mound after all. Yeah, overall not a bad experience. It cost me 14 zloty, and they were adamant to give me a student discount on that as well. So it was going to be 18 zloty, but it went down to 14 zloty. So, you know, for whatever reason, either because they wanted to help me out or because they thought I was an actual student, not sure, but it was cheaper, so I'm not going to complain. If you end up coming here, do not go down that walkway path and then climb up those steps, because that's what I did originally, and it leads to a cafe right there, and then it doesn't actually lead here at all. I thought this was a bridge right here, but it turns out it's just the roof, and this is the exit when you're coming down from this all the way to here. I reckon if you really wanted to, there's no one here, I reckon if you really wanted to you could just crawl under, which might be why they've got the spikes on the bottom. And that's it, that was Kościuszko Mound. Just a hill, to be honest. It has some good views. Like I say, it was a bit ruined from the flies, but other than that, it was quite nice. And it was also cheap as well, 14 zloty. What did that work out? About £3 maybe, I think. Quick guess. Now I need to figure out how to get back to Krakow. Either that or I can go to the airport now, but I've still got like 4 hours until I need to go to the airport realistically. I might as well head back to Old Town or somewhere in Krakow and try and check out some more of that before I have to head back to the airport. Made it back to the Old Town Square in Krakow. Got an Uber because it was just easier, wasn't cheaper, but it was pretty cheap, so it doesn't really bother me. It was about 14 zloty, probably about £4 or £5, probably more towards the £4 mark, I think. I don't know, I've not really been doing the translations that much. I just sort of been paying the money because everything's pretty cheap here in Poland, to be fair. I'm just walking around now. I just grabbed myself some ice cream, just got some water. Again, I keep on buying loads of these bottles due to the fact that it's still super hot, even though it's about 5 o'clock right now. It's still about 28 degrees. So it's super hot. But got to make the most of it, because when I go back to the UK, it's going to be freezing compared to this. Unfortunately, it's a little early, about 2 or 3 hours early, but my phone's running out of battery really quick, and I need my phone in order to get through the airport. Because it has my boarding pass on it, so I sort of need to get to the airport now. I've sort of done with looking around Krakow, to be honest, in terms of the old town. I mean, I don't really know what else there is outside of the old town. I'm just waiting here now to get a bus somewhere down the road, like a couple minutes walk. It's not going to be here for like another 20 minutes. Yeah, unfortunately I'm just going to have to spend my time in the airport just so I can actually charge my phone to make sure I've got enough battery, because I also need my phone when I get into the UK for the boarding pass to, because of the whole COVID situation. There's like a thing on my phone which tells them what I filled out the other day, and it tells them a load of information about my entry, and essentially gives me the pass for the 14-day isolation, because I'd rather not do that. So I need my phone in order to get through, otherwise if I don't have my phone and my phone's dead, then I possibly can't get back into the UK. Or if I can, it'll be like such a long time. They'll take ages just trying to get me through borders and the customs and everything. So yeah, sort of sucks a little bit, but right now I'm not really doing too much. I'm just chilling by some sort of park right next to Old Town. So Old Town is down that way, and the end of it is just at the end of that street, and then there's like this park area that circles all the way around. It also goes down that way as well. So I'm just chilling here at the moment. Yeah, like I say, my bus isn't in for like another 20 minutes, so yeah, this is where I am. Behind me, quite a nice looking area. I'm sure there's so much to Krakow I haven't seen, because I haven't really done an awful lot, to be honest, but I've only been here for like the one day, really. Only really, what, like 5, 6, 7 hours, something like that. Dropped off the car around about 12, like yeah, about 11:30 I dropped off the car, and then now it's about 5:30, so only about 6 hours. Not that long in the big scheme of things, especially when I've had to travel to the different districts that I've been to today and everything. I haven't actually had that much time looking around, and also buying like 1 million bottles of water, but it is what it is. I've enjoyed Krakow for what it was. Similar to all the other Polish cities, a lot of it's just so busy, and there's a lot of like World War II memorabilia and museums and that type of thing, although at the same time all the cities are completely different in their own way, and they got their own unique style to them, own unique thing to them. I think, to be honest, I can use this time wisely anyway, even though I've got about maybe 3 or 4 hours to wait in the airport. I can use that time wisely by editing. I've got like all of this holiday to edit. I've got like at least 7 or 8 vlogs to edit, so I could use this time wisely, really. Just go back to the airport and just start editing those, getting those up as soon as I can. Yeah, that's all I can do with my time, really. My headphones are still broke, showed them in the vlog the other day. I can use them, it's just they're a bit awkward to wear, that's all, so that's going to be fun if I can't listen to music on the flight home. Hope I can though, it should be alright, it's just I need to be careful it doesn't break further. Temperature checks as you come into the airport.
Taking care of our customers and employees, additional procedures and measures resulting from applicable public health.
Well, what a blast Poland's been. I'm really going to miss Poland. I'm just going to do a quick outro now because we're in the airport. I've got my station here. I'm just editing right now, so I've really enjoyed Poland. The entire 6 days worth was amazing. Being able to drive around, it was such a great experience. Being able to do that, really. And yeah, I look forward to doing it again sometime. Hopefully next time in a different country to experience something different. But if I did it again in Poland, again I'd have such a great time because I know what to expect. Great cities all around. Enjoyed every single city I went to on this trip. It's been amazing. It's going to suck for me going back to work and not being able to do this on a daily basis. At least for the past 6 days, it's given me such a idea of how difficult it is to actually do daily vlogging. If I was ever to try and do it every single day, it turns out really difficult. Yeah, that's it. End of the trip. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. If you've missed any, then make sure to go check them all out. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch all of you in the next one. Peace out. And here is bad quality me at midnight walking down, well actually it's 1 in the morning, walking down a street in London, about to get into my car. And as I said earlier on in the beginning of this vlog, now that it's gone past midnight, it's officially my birthday. I am a quarter of a century old. I am 25 years old. It is fucking mad to believe it. Yeah, pretty crazy. I just figured I'd put it in this video considering, you know, I've already done a vlog today in Krakow, now back here in London, Stansted. Yeah, I mean, it just seemed like a perfect thing to put at the end of this video. You probably will never see this clip because it's going to go right at the end of a vlog, but still, doesn't matter. Wanted to put it in anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch all of you next time. Peace out.